You are listening to A Scary State, and this week we're covering Maryland. So, Kenzie,
Yes, Lauren.
let's get scary for one last time. Also, I'm going to apologize right now. My allergies have just come back full force.
Do you want me to do this so that we sound the same?
It sounds so bad. I sound so stuffy.
Yeah, but not like in a gross way.
Thank you.
So,
It's just really hard when the only medicine I can take is saline, and that doesn't do anything.
well, thankfully, baby boy's coming soon.
He's coming soon, so that I can take my medicine.
And just in time for peak allergy season.
You know, my peak allergy season is like Christmas, wintertime, and then spring.
Yeah, in the winter, I say I get like a cold. My nose is just running because it's cold out.
Yeah.
So, but allergies don't affect me all that much.
Yeah, I'm really jealous of the people who are like, I don't really have allergies. I'm like, what is that life like?
Yeah.
I thought that he was making me stronger because for a while people were like complaining about allergies and I didn't have anything.
So you thought like your immune system doubled or
Yes.
something?
I was like, oh my God, he's like
it just
making
wasn't
me
the right time of year.
right. And then now I'm just dying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Of course, on the last episode, I have a long story, so you guys are just going to have to suffer through my stuffy nose.
It really doesn't sound that bad.
Thank you.
It's just, certain like ends. Those are gonna sound ends are gonna sound pretty stuffy.
Ah, good thing we're in Maryland.
There you go. And, well, anything you gotta like kind of hum.
Maryland.
Well, say can.
Can.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, can. Ends are gonna suck for you.
Great.
Okay, I have to tell you something creepy.
Okay. I'm ready for this.
So, as you know, as in you, Lauren, not you, the listeners. One of my coworkers, I found out, lives in the same complex I do.
Right.
Right across. We actually used to live in the same building.
Yes.
We were discussing the towers and their predatoriness to just constantly be vultures and tow cars.
Well, because Mackenzie there's like 3 spots in front of your building. And there are certain days you can't park on them between certain times.
I will say, first couple times, I fucked up. Went out at 2 p.m. I should have had it gone by 8 a.m. My bad. I forgot.
Right.
I was out by 8:10. That shit was gone. And I've seen the person come at 8:15. I'm like, you cannot cherry pick when you're going to tow these fucking cars.
I guess they can because they have the power.
Ugh. So we were bitching about that because we both had to deal with it.
Right. It's annoying.
And he was telling me that someone in my building had told him that the parking over by the leasing office, you can park at.
Okay.
Like you don't need a pass or whatever.
That
was
sounds
like,
suspicious.
That would be kind of nice, like not to have to go on the hill.
Right.
Or in Timbuktu. So Friday night when I was coming back from my dad's, it was late. So there's no fucking parking on my street.
Right.
And so I go over there and like I see a sign that talks about like, you need whatever towing enforced. But where it was where it was, like you come in and then to the right was like a small section that had like numbers on the bottom for like reserved stuff. And then you saw that like that sign right there. But then when you turned, there was no other spots that had any numbers or anything like that.
Okay.
I didn't see anything like those small white signs of like towing enforced because I was fucking nervous.
Well, yeah.
So I parked my car.
Okay.
I was like, my mind is telling me right now, I'll be fine. And so next day, walking out to my car, and I remember I had parked next to some silver sedan type car. And there was open spots next to me.
Okay.
I just stuck with the people.
Right.
I'm walking. I'm getting closer and I'm not seeing it.
Your car?
Where I put it.
Oh.
But then I'm getting closer and I see my car. And it had been moved to one of the like it was in a spot and it said future
resident parking or whatever.
Yes. I know I did not park my car there. I know I did not park my car there.
Ew, maybe like a glitch in the Matrix or something.
Here's my theories. 1, some celestial being is like, good Lord, child, stop doing this. This is your last warning. And moves my car magically.
Okay.
2, the leasing office people No, because it's Saturday. So why the fuck would they be there?
Right.
So take that back. The tow truck person came, saw mine, and either one of two things. His heart grew 3 sizes, which I doubt. And he decided to just move my car, number one.
Move you from your spot, put you into a different one.
Right. Or number two, he was about to take my car and then realized that he was in the wrong and he couldn't actually take my car. And I wasn't parking in a spot that I wasn't allowed to park in. So we had to put it back, and he put it back there.
Oh.
Or, I don't know, aliens abducted it and put it back down in the wrong spot. I don't know.
Or a glitch in the Matrix. You know where you parked, and then
The
something
Mandela
happened.
effect. I don't know.
Right, and put you in a different spot.
It's
That's weird.
It's so weird.
And it's like, I would have said, like, okay, maybe you'd park somewhere else if you had been, like, drinking, but you wouldn't have
No.
been driving anyways. So there's that. But, like, you weren't.
Right.
You were completely in your sane mind.
Yes.
Weird.
And I remember, because when I drove out, the spot I parked in was empty.
And especially when it's a place that you don't normally park, you remember it better because you don't normally park there.
Right.
So it's not just like you mixed up
And
one
I
of the
was
days.
checking out the cars that were close to me to see, like, well, what does
Were
that
those
mean?
cars still there?
Yeah.
And they were not next to you anymore?
No, because my car moved.
Right. Ew.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And, like, when I turned it on, it had, like, some sort of little light on that said something about, like, the brakes or whatever when I Googled it, and I was like, well, that's weird. But the moment I started driving, it turned off, and it hasn't turned back on since.
I think the most logical explanation would be one of yours, with the tow truck, like, being like, oh, haha, I got her, and then being like, whoops, nope, and putting you back.
Yeah.
But that's not a fun one. That's not a fun theory. I like the alien theory. You know we love our alien theories.
I like the magic one.
Which one was that one?
The celestial being that's, like,
Yeah. Just,
looking
like,
out for me.
took you.
And, like, maybe I just didn't see their passes or whatever, but they didn't fucking have any in their car, I swear. But what gives me joy is if that did happen, where he tried to tow my car and then realized that I wasn't parked in a spot I wasn't allowed to be in, fuck you. That gives me so much fucking pride. You little fucking vulture coming in all the goddamn time and towing these people's cars. It's not like we're parked in an emergency lane.
Right. I like
But it still freaked me the fuck out that my
I
car
want
was
you to
moved.
do it again
No.
and, like, picture it, like, take a picture of where you parked.
Nope.
I know you won't, but, like, if we had a lot of disposable income, I would say let's do it.
Yes.
But, you know, I
Sure,
don't
we
have
could
just
experiment.
just don't have a couple $100 we
But
can
see,
throw.
here's the thing. Two of my neighbors, one neighbor told one guy, and he said he has done it before.
Yeah.
And his car has been fine. So that's why I did it.
Right.
And so that's why I really think Mr. Nosy Buttface saw my car. It's pretty distinct. He's towed it 85 million fucking times.
It's like, ah, there she is.
And where he comes from, he can see it parked.
Yeah.
And I think he was like, oh, I got her now.
They probably have, like, a whiteboard at their office, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got her again. And just doing
I
tally
swear to God,
marks.
I got my receipt once, and there was a 4 circled next to my name.
Their favorite return customer.
And then one of the times one of the times my car got towed, it wasn't my fault. I was dog sitting, and she told me to park there and that it would be fine.
Then she should have had to pay.
She did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They had just gone back, and I was like, okay, cool, bye, see you guys. Walking down, and I was like, hey, my car's gone.
Oh.
So she drove me to go get it, and I was like, I can tell you how to get there.
I've done this drive quite a few times.
Right. So,
Well, that's really creepy.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, unless someone has magical, like, hot wiring skills and then can make it look like it hasn't been hot wired.
And the person who hotwired it was just like, I'm just going to move it over a couple spaces.
Exactly.
Let's really mess with her.
Like, I felt like I was losing my mind.
I would have felt the same way.
I was like,
It's one of those things where you look at it and you just kind of stop and you just stare and you're like, huh, what happened here?
Right. I was like, how? And, like, here's the thing. Where I was parked and where my car, like, so, like, the future residence, whatever, it's like you have the end of the parking lot, which it's not really that big, a
Right.
parking lot. So then it's like 3 of those spaces. Then after those 3, it starts where there's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was maybe like, I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 spots away from that.
Wow.
Now, granted, when I pulled my car out, more cars had parked there
Yeah.
next to me. But when I parked my car, there was no one next to me.
Right.
It was 10 o'clock at night.
That's so weird.
And my car was moved, which those cars parked there after my car was moved.
Mhm.
Or no, before my car was moved because the spot was still empty.
Ew! Did you notice anything different in your car?
No, not except for the light thing that went on and
Right.
off.
Ew.
And it, like, the reason why I didn't believe it with the brakes is I replaced my brakes recently.
Yeah.
I know that my brakes shouldn't have an issue.
Right.
And so I was like, but then it like had me thinking like, well, if he
Right, when they move you.
right.
Yeah.
Did he jostle something or
I feel like they
whatever?
have to do something with your car because it has to roll on their thingy.
He's lucky that he didn't do anything to it.
Yeah.
God, I wish I could have proof of that.
Oh,
Oh my God.
does your leasing office have a camera?
I don't know.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
I don't know.
Because if they have a camera that points out to the parking lot,
Yeah.
you could be like, "Hey, I know this is gonna sound insanely crazy,
Yeah.
but"
Yeah. Because then there was like a small part that thought for a second, oh, maybe some good Samaritan ran out, was like, no, they're fine. You don't have to tow them, and then put it back.
No.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday,
No
no.
one's working.
Wild.
And so after that, I was like, I'll park in Timbuktu if I have to.
Yeah, right.
Fuck this. It's terrifying to walk out and your car's not there.
Yeah, it is. I've had that happen a couple times.
Most of the time, you're like, okay, it was towed. Like, cool. But there's always the small part of you when you're calling the company that, like, if they don't have it, that means my car was stolen.
Well, that happened to Joe once.
And that's so much worse.
He went out to his car and it wasn't there. And he called like all the towing agencies around. None of them had it. And so we knew his car had gotten stolen
At least with the towing.
when he lived in Maryland.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
At least with the towing, you can get your car back.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay for it, and it sucks to pay for it, but like,
But you get your car back.
you get your car back.
Yeah.
It's stolen. It's gone.
Uh-huh. Yep. His car was gone. Right around Christmas. Yeah. We drove around to like chop shops, couldn't find it. It was gone.
Did he report it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he reported it. He like had to go through the insurance. Like he did everything he had to do, but
Yeah.
yeah, they never found it.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be difficult.
And not trying to like shame any area, but it was Glen Burnie, Maryland, which is known as Dirty Birdie. So it was a place where like Joe would walk me out to my car when I was leaving and like would wait outside for me when I would come and walk me inside.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
safe.
And there was a car there too that like it was my favorite thing to do. If you stepped next to the car, you didn't even have to touch the car. If you just like stomped near it, the alarm would go off.
Jeez.
So I would do that every time I came so the guy would have to come out.
Was it like a fancy car?
No.
Oh, so it was just not wired correctly.
I don't know what he thought his car
whatever.
was, but he would just come out and clip the thing off every time.
Funny.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
A lot of great times in that apartment.
Yeah, I can see. I remember
Uh-huh.
not ever being there, but you telling me.
We never invited people.
Fair.
It wasn't great.
From what it sounded like.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that's my crazy car story.
Wow. Thank you for telling me. That was very fun.
Well, I was like, I can't keep this in my head.
No.
I have to decipher it with somebody.
Yeah, that is so weird.
So on Tuesday, because I don't have work tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find my neighbor and I'm going to be like,
Ooh.
you will never believe what
Yes.
happened.
Be like, listen to this story.
Because we commiserated on the towing and the other people that live in my building,
As
our
you
building.
have to.
I did tell him I had seen him again. So we were just talking about things. I was like, oh yeah. He was starting to tell me how he would just yank the door open.
Right. A door that had a magnetic lock that wasn't easy to just yank open.
Yeah, it was. My mom could do it.
Oh, I couldn't. I tried once. Maybe I didn't try hard enough.
I think we were too scared to break it.
I think we were too.
And he was like, yeah, like I just yanked it open. And I was like, oh, I know.
I saw you.
I was like,
my best friend saw you.
I was like, my friend came in once and was like, there's a man that just yanked the door open and went inside. Like totally freaked out.
Yeah.
And now I realize it was you.
So that makes it really less scary.
Oh, far less scary. Far less scary. Now knowing that he could just yank it open. Because really, at the end of it, it's a magnet.
Yeah.
It's really not that secure.
Right.
Even my front door, I'm like, I wish I had one more lock.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. swear to God, I bet he moved my car and had to put it back.
That's why I really want you to find a camera.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because how beautiful would that be? You see your car getting all hooked up, taken away, and then immediately just put back.
New theory, my car can fly. My car knew what was up and was like, bitch,
Scooted over.
and moved me over herself.
I bet that's it.
That's got to be it. That's
She's
not
got
that's
your back.
reasonable, honestly. So yeah, so that's my car. I don't
Wow.
know.
I love it.
If it moves again and I'm parked in the right place, my car can fly.
Okay. I think that's a solid theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way we'll prove it.
Yeah. For
Scientific
sure.
method.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect.
All right. Should we get into our 2 truths and a lie for Maryland?
I think you're going to do just fine.
Oh, God. I don't know.
No, I think you're going to do just fine. Mostly because the first one you already know.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like it's kind of like the last one. Like you're going to do fine. I feel like you're going to get it.
All right. Hold on. Let me blow my nose. There are people at my work who will blow their nose like that, at their desk. And I'm like, okay, go to the bathroom. I understand a blow, but don't do it where your nose is honking.
What do you do?
And then I'll go to the bathroom if it's going to be a really disgusting blow.
That's so funny.
I'm respectful. Okay. In the late 1700s and 1800s, I sound so bad.
You sound beautiful.
Maryland counties used almshouses to house people who were poor, elderly, disabled, mentally ill, or orphaned. Residents were often kept together regardless of age or condition, and many were expected to work daily in kitchens, laundries, or fields, even when sick or elderly. Medical care was limited, and disease spread easily in overcrowded buildings. Deaths were common, and many residents were buried on the property in unmarked graves, sometimes recorded as a number rather than names. In later years, construction projects in parts of Maryland uncovered forgotten burial grounds tied to these institutions, revealing how many people disappeared from public record after entering the almshouse system. Sounds legit. We know that happens.
Mhm.
All right. I think that one's a good one. Okay. During the 19th century, Baltimore became known for cooping, a violent form of voter fraud. Political gangs kidnapped men, often unhoused or intoxicated, held them in small rooms, drugged or beat them, and forced them to vote multiple times while wearing different disguises. Some victims were released disoriented or far from home, while others were never fully accounted for. The practice was widely reported in newspapers and became so associated with the city that it remains linked to the mysterious 1849 death of Edgar Allan Poe, who was found confused near a polling place shortly before he died. I covered him in an episode.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, this one is legit.
Okay.
Now I'm so nervous. Okay. In the late 1600s, as fear of witchcraft spread through the American colonies, a small Maryland settlement reportedly became the center of an intense witch panic. According to later accounts, accusations escalated quickly, with neighbors turning on one another and entire families being arrested. Unlike the more public trials in Massachusetts, these proceedings were said to have taken place quietly through local courts. Several accused individuals were allegedly executed, and others died in custody due to illness or mistreatment. The events were so controversial that, according to the story, local leaders later destroyed court records and church documents in an attempt to erase the trials from history and avoid long-term stigma for the community. Supporters of this theory often point to missing colonial records, vague references in personal letters, and Maryland's religious tensions at the time as evidence that a larger witch hunt occurred but were deliberately forgotten, making it one of the colony's darkest and least known secrets. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me get the thing ready.
Oh, God, okay. All right. I'm going to say that 3 is our lie.
Okay.
Because 1 sounds legit.
Yeah.
Because you even mentioned almshouses.
I know, I'm so mad at myself.
And then I knew Edgar Allan Poe had the weird thing with the voting stuff and his mysterious death.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say 3 is our lie.
Final answer?
Yeah. Yay!
2 for 2, baby.
Oh, amazing. This is a great record to end on.
It truly is. It truly is. You're doing great.
I mean, that one with the witches, it could be legit,
Well, I try to make it that way.
That it sounded legit.
Yeah.
I just knew the other 2 a little bit better.
Yeah. I didn't realize that the whole Edgar Allan Poe thing was in there, and I was like, fuck. Well, she already knows about 1 because I told her. She already knows about Edgar Allan Poe, so hopefully she realizes she knows those things.
Oh, I did good this time.
You did. You did great. Definitely
Thank
went out
you.
on a high note. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What spooky tea you pouring, Lauren?
All right, I got a person. So hopefully the tale is intriguing enough that my voice doesn't take away from the story.
Yeah, now that your voice is stuffy, it's not quite as soothing. I don't think I'll fall asleep.
Thank you. This will keep your interest, I hope.
Oh, it always does.
Ah,
You're
good.
good. You're good. Mm, You're a good storyteller.
Ah, thank you. All right. This is about Charles William Davis.
3 names. Not
I
good.
know, never good.
Not good.
Though little is known about Charles William Davis's background, there are a few things we do know about him.
Okay.
He was born on June 18th, 1947 in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
His father worked as a police lieutenant in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout his teen years in the early 1960s, he worked many different jobs, such as an electrician, security guard, and even a volunteer assistant chief of staff for the Baltimore Volunteer Rescue Squad.
Wait. Say that last title
I
again.
know. Volunteer assistant chief of staff
Okay.
for the Baltimore Volunteer Rescue Squad. So kind of like your
Volunteering.
EMTs. Yeah, pretty much. So like your EMTs, your firefighters, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He also had training to become a medical technician at a local hospital. At some point before this time,
Sounds like he's doing
a good
well.
dude, right?
Yeah.
At some point before this time, Davis had gotten married and had had a son, but later divorced his wife and moved in with a single mother whom he had met while he was doing his volunteer work named Bonnie Kellner. One report said that Bonnie and Davis were actually engaged at some point.
Red flag.
I know.
Waving my red flag.
Oh, just you wait, all the flags you will be waving. Then, in the early 70s, he started taking courses at a medical school in order to become a laboratory technician.
Uh-oh. I see where this is going.
Do you?
I don't know. Anytime they go into any sort of medical training or whatever, and something weird ends up with the body. Maybe he's really good at cutting them up. Maybe he gets super weirdly into dead bodies, but it always takes the root of just weird.
Yeah, it does.
So,
It is reported that in 1973, Davis was convicted of a violation concerning a handgun, but it is unclear if he served any time for this or if anything really came from it.
okay.
So if this were the end of his crimes and story, we wouldn't be talking about him today.
Well, of course.
But unfortunately, this is where his story really starts.
Uh-oh.
In late 1974, Davis was driving along the road when he witnessed a traffic accident. With his volunteer rescue experience, he got out to help and noticed that a 23-year-old woman had been involved in the accident.
Mm-hmm.
He told her that he was there to help, but instead of helping, he dragged the poor girl from the car into a nearby wooded area, where he, trigger warning and trigger warning from here on out, raped her, then strangled her.
Did I not say something weird?
Yeah. She lost consciousness, and thinking that she was dead, Davis just left her there and drove away. But thankfully, after some time, the woman did regain consciousness and was able to make her way back to town where she received the medical attention she needed. She also reported her experience to police officers who were able to create a facial composite of the woman's attacker. That doesn't go anywhere. The facial composite. Nothing.
I figured because I know your story is 11 pages, and I'm like, this is not 11 pages.
And then he was caught at the end. On August 24th, 1975, Davis made his way to the TikTok Club in Howard County, where he met a 20-year-old woman named Roseanne Ann Sturtz. She was somehow lured into an isolated area where Davis sexually assaulted then murdered her. A family member reported her missing later that evening. Her body wasn't found until December 15th, 4 months later, in a wooded area off Route 108 in Columbia, Maryland, at what is now Oakland Ridge Industrial Park.
What made him just go nuts?
We get to it, kind
Okay.
of. Investigation revealed that she had sustained trauma, which resulted in her death. Her coworkers actually
Well,
helped.
duh.
Well, yeah.
What kind of trauma? Right.
Yeah. Her coworkers actually helped ID her after a sketch was posted in a newspaper.
Mm.
On September 11th, 1975, Davis went on a date with a woman named Lydia Victoria Norman, though another source said that Norman was a 16-year-old girl that Davis had met through an acquaintance.
Ew.
So either a woman he was going on a date with or a 16-year-old. We're going to probably go with the 16-year-old because that's
gross.
Yeah. He propositioned her for sex, but she refused. So Davis strangled her to death, dragged her body out of the car, and dumped her on the ground. Just months after that.
Did he sexually assault her or just strangle
It
her?
doesn't say. It seems
Do you
that
think it's implied or?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because he does do that with a lot of his victims, but I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like he maybe did, but because she was 16, maybe the newspaper and like the articles that I read just didn't mention that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because she's underage.
Yeah.
Just months after that, Davis decided to assault a social worker who he believed was responsible for him losing custody of his son.
Oh, is that what triggered this?
No, this is just for this one.
Because so he hasn't had custody for his son for a while now, right?
We're not really sure what's going on with the son. Again, not much is touched on with that. We know about the son now because of this one. So we know that there was like a custody battle and that he lost custody, but we don't know at what point he like hadn't been seeing his son.
So it may or may not be a trigger for
Potentially.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he put this plan into motion on New Year's Eve. He lured the victim from a nightclub where she was
This should have
spending.
been your New Year's Eve story.
I know! When I read that part! He lured the victim from a nightclub where she was spending the evening with her husband, some other relatives, and some friends to ring in the new year. Davis was able to lure her out of the club by telling a doorman that her car was blocking his in. So she comes out to deal with that and move her car for this man the doorman told her about. When she was near Davis's car, he pushed her in and sped away. But as he was speeding away, he realized that he had kidnapped the wrong person.
What?
So he is thinking that he's getting a social
The
worker.
social worker.
When she's now in the car, he realizes this isn't the social worker.
Ah.
He had mistakenly kidnapped 24-year-old Kathleen Diane Cook, a woman who had absolutely no connection to his court case or the social worker.
Oh.
Kathleen, realizing what was happening, started threatening Davis, telling him that her fiancé was a high-ranking police officer in the Baltimore police force, that she was the daughter-in-law of the state police lieutenant colonel, and that she would threaten him with legal troubles.
That just signed your...
Yeah. Davis didn't care and ignored her threats. He eventually drove her to a vacant lot in the mall in Cantonsville, where he proceeded to rape her. But despite this, Kathleen kept threatening him and trying to humiliate him, saying things like, "I hope that makes you feel like a man," and that he was impotent and unpopular with women.
I mean, good for her.
I know. Well, I guess we can all imagine the type of guy that Davis was.
Right. He probably
This
didn't take that well.
infuriated him.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to his car, grabbed his .38 caliber revival, and shot Kathleen 4 times. But she's a badass bitch, and this didn't kill her.
Hell yeah!
She pulled herself up and, while still being in the car, tried to make it to the steering wheel to honk the horn and get someone's attention, but Davis was right there.
Mm.
He stabbed her, this time killing her. He removed her from his
You gave
car.
me hope.
I know.
Asshole.
I know. So this time it killed her. So he removed her from his car and left her there in the parking lot as he drove away.
Mm.
Later, when she was found, she was immediately brought to St. Agnes Hospital. And due to his volunteering and training, he was actually present at the hospital when Kathleen Cook's body was brought in.
Disgusting.
Oh, it gives me the chills.
See, I told you. They go, when we're talking about stories like this and they go under some weird medical training shit, it always ends up being weird.
Yes. Yes. Then
Not all doctors are weird, but all serial killers who train to be a doctor are weird.
Yes. Exactly. Like, not all squares are triangles.
Exactly.
Nope.
Nope.
Rectangles.
I got what you're saying. It's not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then on August 24th, 1976, Davis was driving along I-95.
Wait, pause for a second. How many do we have so far? 4? 5?
We're on 5.
Okay.
He's driving along I-95.
Mhm.
Wikipedia called it the I-95.
Must have been someone from the West Coast.
I know. I was like, it's not the I-95.
The pictures for Oregon, for yours, I put the Highway 101.
Did you see? That's how I labeled
Yeah.
it. All right, so back to not fun.
Yeah.
So 23-year-old Peggy Allen Pumpian was, I assume, on the side of the road. Davis slowed down and Peggy asked him for directions to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. I know how much you love the bridge.
Pin in your story. Discussing this for a moment. What was she going to do? Walk across it?
No, she was going to drive. She just didn't know how to get there.
Oh, she was in her car.
Yeah. So she's pulled over on the side of the road.
I thought, okay.
No, I know. It took a little bit to get that when I first read this story, too.
I was like, what is she going to do with that?
I should have fixed that. Because when I first was reading this article about Peggy, I was like, was she just standing on the side of the road asking for directions? And then I kept reading and she was in her car. But I forgot to go back up and put that she was in her car.
Yeah, okay, that makes... We can unpin it now. You can keep going. It makes no sense. 'Cause it's just like, what?
There are people who will run across the Bay Bridge.
No, we don't need to talk about it.
If you aren't from like the Virginia, Maryland, this East Coast area, the Bay Bridge is probably one of the scariest bridges. It has ranked high on scariest bridges. It's very, very high up and it's very, very
arched.
long. Yes. And so you start low and then you just go up, all the way to the tippy top. And then you go down. And sometimes it shakes a little bit.
It's windy.
If it's windy during storms, it's terrifying. Sometimes it's closed if it's a really windy day.
Sometimes, now they haven't done this in a while, but I've seen it before where like they'll have part of it closed. And so we're sharing lanes.
Yes, with the opposite direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
It's not a great bridge.
Nope.
But it's pretty. Like if you're just looking out over the water, not thinking about how high up you are.
Well, I'm constantly thinking that. So when my dad and I were going to Chickateague,
Yeah,
we had to cross it.
obviously.
But I wasn't driving, so I just Let me know when we're over, Dad.
Oh, see, I like when I'm not the one driving because then I can actually look out and, like, look at the water.
Well, that's the problem.
When I'm driving, I can't do that, and then I get nervous.
Well, I mean, the problem is looking down
Yeah,
and
yeah.
out. That then just amplifies my issue.
Yeah.
So, my dad also lives on the 17th floor. That picture I put on my Instagram story of the pretty
Oh,
sunset,
yeah.
did you see what it said?
Yes.
It said, "I almost shit my pants taking this
Yep.
picture."
I was wondering where you were, but it was a very beautiful picture.
Because he was on the 17th floor.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Where it looks like I'm at the corner of the balcony.
Oh,
No.
I knew you weren't.
No.
I know you're probably, like, 1 foot inside, zooming.
I wish I had to go all the way outside. So I'm hugging the wall and then zooming, so it looks like I'm standing on the corner of the
balcony.
yeah, but no, and then I come back in and it took, like, a couple minutes for my hands to stop shaking.
Of course it did,
So, yeah, I'm gonna close my eyes as long as I'm not driving.
but I was proud of you. Alright, so Peggy and Davis have a short conversation. They both get back into their cars and drive on. But pretty quickly, Davis started motioning for Peggy to pull over again. When she did, he told her that there was actually another route she could take to get to the bridge. At this point, Peggy just allowed him into her car so he could show her on a map.
What?
He spent some time mapping a route for her before he pulled out his revolver and demanded that she give him money.
Ugh.
Peggy immediately did, but Davis proceeded to rape her at gunpoint.
Mm.
Peggy is another badass. She attempted to escape and hit Davis in the face, which resulted in a fierce struggle. Davis unfortunately got the upper hand and shot Peggy in the chest 5 times, killing her. As he got out of Peggy's car, he wiped off his fingerprints and left. He traveled up to New York, where he hoped to provide himself with an alibi. Just 8 hours later, Peggy's body was found. The bullets were extracted from her body, and authorities decided to conduct a ballistics test on them. The results showed that riffling marks on the revolver's barrel corresponded to the one that had been used in a previous murder, the murder of Kathleen Diane Cook.
So at this point, have they not made connections?
Mm-mm.
So they think that these are all separate until now?
Yep. Because they've all been different ways. Like, there's been strangulation, there's been gunshots, there's been just... They've all been different, like, MOs.
It just... The only consistent is the
These
sexual
two
assault.
The sexual assault, yeah.
Right, these two, okay.
So the finally doing the ballistics test, allowed authorities to connect these 2 murder cases.
Sure.
They still had no suspects at this point, but they knew now that these 2 murders were connected.
Yeah.
Then, on September 3rd, 1976, Davis raped a 21-year-old woman who he also met on 95, who he had stopped to help after she had run out of gas.
Has this all happened in the year 1976?
The first one was in 74.
Okay, so this is over the span of 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she runs out of gas, he helps her, and for unknown reasons, he let the victim live, and after the assault, he simply just left her.
That's odd.
On February 23rd, 1977, so we're now into 77,
Yeah.
Davis lured another woman, 24-year-old Carol Willingham, into his car under the pretext of helping her. Willingham was pregnant. He then drove them to an Edgefield Avenue wooded area outside of town where
showing pregnant?
I don't know. It didn't say how far along she was. But so he drives them to this wooded area outside of town where he beat, robbed, and raped her before again simply releasing her.
That's weird.
I know.
Is he do we find out later he was wearing a mask so he knew they couldn't ID him, or no?
He wasn't wearing a mask.
Oh.
I mean, at least none of the articles said he was.
Okay.
By May of 1977, Davis was working as a truck driver and no longer as a volunteer. By this point, he had been charged with the September 3rd rape of the 21-year-old, but he had been acquitted after passing a police-administered polygraph.
Those aren't admissible in court.
I wonder what they were in 77.
Well, probably after this, they weren't admissible in court.
On July 20th, 1977, Maryland State Troopers David Herron and Gary Hartman were driving in Baltimore City when they drove past Davis, driving his Volkswagen Beetle going in the opposite direction.
Oh, he had a Beetle?
Yeah.
Kind of like, what's his name?
Bundy.
Yep.
Horrid immediately recognized Davis as the man who had been questioned previously in the murders of Kathleen Cook and Peggy Pumpian. Checking into the plates, Trooper Horrid realized that the Volkswagen had switch tags, meaning that the tags that the Volkswagen had not been issued to that car.
Oh.
He called into the Maryland State Police Department, who also confirmed this about the tags. So Horrid immediately turned around and started following Davis, soon after pulling him over. Davis was questioned about the plates and did admit that he had switch tags.
Okay.
Trooper Horn gave Davis citations for the tags, as well as for driving, quote, without any registration plates at all, and operating a vehicle without any insurance. Next, Trooper Horn asked Davis if he could search his vehicle, which Davis consented to. While looking through the vehicle, Trooper Hartman saw an uninstalled CB radio under one of the seats.
Okay.
He pulled it out from under the seats and jotted down the serial number, which he then called in to have it checked. Turns out the CB radio had also been stolen.
Well, damn.
Davis was then arrested for receiving stolen property and transported to the county jail.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time, Davis maintained his innocence and even provided a receipt to investigators to show that he had bought the radio from a store in Baltimore legally.
Did he?
Because of this receipt, the theft charge was dropped and he was released. But, like, what about the license plate charge? But I guess they
Well,
can't
that
hold
was
you
just
for
a
that.
citation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Further inspections were done on the radio and on Davis's receipt, and it was ultimately determined that he had purchased it, but with stolen credit cards.
Oh, there it is.
So he legally got
He was
he
right.
purchased
He did
it legally.
purchase this thing, just not with his own money.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
The stolen credit card turned out to belong to Carol Willingham's husband. So she was the one who was pregnant, the victim of the alleged rape and robbery that occurred in Baltimore City on February 23rd, 1977.
Thank you.
So it was during this attack that the cards were stolen.
Okay.
Carol was then brought into the police station and was shown a photo of Davis, the man who had been using her husband's card. Upon seeing his photo, Carol immediately identified Davis as the man who had assaulted and robbed her. This allowed authorities to obtain an arrest warrant on August 30th, 1977, charging Davis with the rape and robbery of Carol Willingham. While all of this was happening between February and August, Davis had moved to Reno, Nevada to work as an ambulance dispatch helper while living in his car with another fiancée, 22-year-old Diane Hope Crosby. Let that sink in.
Scenery.
Yep. He was found on August 31st and was arrested on September 1st.
I mean, he's got to know after getting arrested for the stolen thing that, like, it's only a matter of time.
Right. He was placed in a Reno jail in the meantime. But before being taken to the jail, Davis asked if he could speak to the officers privately. So we're still with Trooper Horan and Hartman, the two who had arrested him. Yep. So
okay. But
he's
they're
like
in Nevada.
They're in Nevada now. Yeah.
But he flew out there.
They flew out there to get him.
And so he's talking to those two.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So Trooper Horan replied that he was busy at the time, but that Davis, would get an opportunity later. So later that day, Trooper Horan went to the jail and asked Davis if he wanted to speak to him. Davis said he did not, and no further questions were asked of him. This happened a few more times over the next few days, with Davis telling the troopers he wanted to speak to them about two big things. Then when arrangements were made to speak with him, Davis would decide that he didn't want to talk anymore.
He's playing with them, trying to keep control.
Yep.
In any way that he can.
Just 3 days later, he was extradited back to Maryland to wait trial. While on his way to Baltimore, he told the escorting officers, Hartman and Horan, that he wanted to discuss the murder of Peggy Pumpian. He also agreed to record his confession on tape. He was read his Miranda rights, brought to the police station, and he did confess on video to killing Peggy. But he also surprised the investigators when he also confessed to the murder of Kathleen Cook. The next day, he was formally indicted with their murders.
Do you think at that point he thought to himself, like, if I'm going away for one, I might as well share the rest?
I don't know.
Because one hit or miss about getting life in prison.
Right.
But the more you the more you've done, the longer you're going to be in jail.
Right.
So, like, I always wonder.
Do you think it becomes a status thing at that point?
It might. Or maybe,
you know, like
narcissism.
Oh, I have like 4 life sentences. Like,
I want to share what I did because I'm proud of myself and that I got these feats. So I need to share it with someone so they can know what I did.
Maybe. Because there are some serial killers who are like that. Like the first one is Ed Kemper. He wanted to talk about what he did and like discuss it. And then there are others who are like, no, I'm just going to keep it all secret.
Right. Because it's their version of control.
Yeah.
I'm not going to I'm going to hint to you that there's more, but so that I can stay in control of the situation, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
And then some people are just so narcissistic that, like, they have to share their story. They need people to know.
They need people to know.
So that they can be acknowledged for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know which one he is.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because, like, we don't have much of his, like, personality.
Right.
I mean, obviously,
we don't know much about his younger life.
Right.
We just kind of know him once he starts doing things.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. So after his arrest, a group of high-ranking law enforcement officials met to discuss how they would prosecute the case. Though all of the murders and crimes were committed within Baltimore, it was decided that Davis would be tried in separate trials in different venues, as the prosecutor's office was concerned that Davis wouldn't receive a fair trial due to the publicity that was now surrounding his crimes.
Okay.
Which I get, but like at the same time.
Well, much better for him to get the fair trial up front and be found guilty.
That's true.
Than a mistrial.
That's true. So Davis was transferred to Allegheny County, where he was charged with Kathleen Cook's murder.
It's so... I know this has nothing to do with the story, and I apologize for this random thought, but when we're talking about, like, places that are near us, it's so interesting. Like, it's just sometimes weird to hear places you know.
Yes. And, like, that we're
Yeah.
pronouncing it correctly and everything, you know?
Yeah, you can't come for us. We know it's Allegheny County
Yeah.
because the Allegheny Mountains.
Hold on, let me blow. Does it make a blimp? And then when I listen back to it, it's gonna sound like a goose honking.
So funny.
That did nothing, but okay. In early 1978, he was found guilty and convicted of murder in the first degree and the use of a handgun in the commission of that crime of violence. On April 12th, 1978, he was sentenced to life in prison. And that was for Kathleen Cook's murder.
See, if at that point you're already convicted and then you decide to share, because what do you have to lose?
Right.
I could understand that a little bit more. Like, that makes more sense.
Yeah, but still, some of them use it. They're like, I'm not going to tell because I still have that. Like, I know something that you don't.
But, like, it's like he confessed before that even happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, it didn't seem like he was on their radar for those.
They just knew that. I mean, they knew they were connected, though. So I guess if he was going to confess to one,
Oh, I see what you mean.
you know.
No, but I mean, like, even just confessing to her murder. Like,
Yeah.
that's not why he got arrested.
No, yeah, it's not.
And I'm asking these questions as if these men are thinking logically here after they've just murdered people. So really, I don't know why I'm so hung up on it, but it just seems dumb,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, good for the victims and closure and things like that, but, like, when you look at it from just, like, a law standpoint,
mhm.
if you're arrested for something else that's gonna be a much lesser crime, which is always crazy to me to say that,
Right.
why would you then confess about a murder that's immediately gonna,
Maybe he wanted people to know.
which is why I'm like, I wish we knew his personality,
Yeah.
because then we would be able to decide why he felt the need to tell them about something that they weren't even thinking about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So after he was sentenced to life in prison, he was then put on trial for Peggy's murder. But due to him already serving a life term, his authorities filed a motion for
Wait. Who did he get a life sentence for?
Kathleen Cook's
Murdered.
murder.
Okay. For a second, I was like, whoa, he got it for the assault? I was going to be really happy.
No,
okay,
no,
that
for the
makes more
murder.
sense. Okay, yeah.
So then he
Okay.
was put on trial for Peggy's murder.
Yes.
So due to him already serving a life term, his attorneys tried to motion for a mistrial, which was granted.
Why?
I don't know. So he had a second trial, but either way, he was found guilty in the second trial and sentenced to a second life term in April of 1979. His attorney, Arnold M. Zerwitz, tried to convince the jury that his client had actually been pressured into confessing by officers, but it wasn't convincing and was ultimately ignored.
Yeah.
Then in early 1979, he was transferred to Anne Arundel County. And see, that's
See?
another one, Anne Arundel.
Yeah.
Anne Arundel. This is where he was put on trial for killing Lydia Victoria Norman. So this is the woman who he went on the date with, the 16-year-old,
Oh, okay.
who refused his propositions for sex.
So,
He had strangled her and then dumped her body on the ground and left.
how did they know he was...
I
Did he
don't
confess
know.
to that one too?
He must have.
Yeah.
It didn't really, like, I read the court documents,
Yeah.
and so it went over everything that happened, but it didn't say, like
Like the
why.
specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was found guilty yet again in early 1980 and sentenced to a life term with the chance of parole after 48 years.
But he has the 2 other life terms with
Uh-huh.
no chance of parole,
Uh-huh.
so isn't that null and void anyway?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
When this sentence was read to Davis, he didn't react in any way, and he remained completely calm throughout the procedures.
That's why I'm like, sick dude. He did it for something.
Yeah. All right. So here is where I mentioned his MOs.
Okay.
So he would mainly target Caucasian women and girls between the ages of 16 and 24.
Okay.
He would usually feign assisting the woman in some way, like
Right.
helping during a car accident, helping with directions because their car was blocking his.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
This is known as the con approach. His murders never seemed to be planned, but were rather spur of the moment when the main reason was for the rape. So
Sure.
he would
He didn't. It didn't seem like he went out looking for it.
correct.
It just
if it
happenstance.
stumbled upon him, great. He would do whatever, but he was trying to, like, it says essentially he wanted to rape them,
Right.
but sometimes it went into murder. The murder would occur if his victims enraged him or challenged his control. So ultimately, like Lydia Norman,
Or anyone who fought back.
who
Yeah.
said no,
Yeah.
and Kathleen Cook, who fought back
Yeah.
and humiliated him.
Right.
And due to the murders being more spur of the moment, he would use whatever he had, like strangulation, shooting with a .38 caliber revolver, or by stabbing.
Sure.
So that's why all of the deaths were different, because he used
weird.
what he
It's
had.
It's like 1 second he's normal.
Mm-hmm.
The next second he sees this car crash and his first instinct is like, let me go help this woman, but then assault her.
Right.
But then you don't go looking for it. You just,
Right.
again, now you're a normal person again,
Mhm.
normal, so to speak.
Right. Until the opportunity presents itself again.
That's interesting.
Mhm. Okay. So this part is the bad one. This was more of
This
his
part?
well, this was more of his signature.
Okay.
After he would murder and or rape his victim,
Mm-hmm.
he would make an anonymous call to emergency services, reporting what had happened to the victim. Then, because he worked as a rescue squad volunteer, he would arrive at the crime scene with the rescue squad to help retrieve the bodies that he himself had murdered and dumped.
Oh my.
Uh-huh.
That's got to speak to something.
How terrifying is that?
Narcissism?
I don't know what that would be.
You know, I wonder if he did that. So then, if any of him, granted,
Ah.
DNA wasn't really a thing, but
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't.
yeah, so they might not have.
Because then, I mean, if you're raping, like,
Right,
you know.
right.
But yeah,
That's nuts.
I know. After all of his convictions, Davis remained incarcerated, spending time in many different penitentiaries around Maryland. In the early 1980s, shortly after his final sentencing, he was interviewed by FBI analyst John E. Douglas, who
Ah,
we love,
there he is.
with the aim of creating offender profiles that would aid in the capture of future serial killers.
Yes.
But before even meeting him, just knowing of his crimes, Douglas was able to suggest that Davis was a police buff who would have liked to have been in a position of power and authority, but couldn't get
Ah,
that, so instead had to settle for a job, quote, below his capabilities.
yes.
Douglas said that Davis had problems relating to women, and that violence was prompted by his anger and frustration over a lack of control that he had in his life.
Yep.
So, because at the time of his first murder, he was struggling with the woman he lived with, he had financial issues, and he was drinking heavily.
Mm,
So Douglas believed that Davis was taking out the anger that he felt for women in his life on strangers instead.
got it.
Douglas also deduced that the last woman who Davis had murdered, assumed to be Peggy, was not like the others. So at some point during their exchange, Peggy had told Davis about how her husband was sick and was close to death.
Mhm.
So after Davis had assaulted her, he actually allowed her to get dressed. And at that point, he was contemplating not killing her, though in the end he did.
Mhm.
Then feeling bad about what he had done, he covered her head, which we
Mm,
know is a sign of like
yeah,
remorse, regret.
Yeah.
He then took a photo of Peggy's family from her wallet and later placed it on Peggy's husband's grave after he had passed.
Ew.
Isn't that weird?
That's mm,
I know. I know.
that's sick.
So that's why Douglas was saying, like, something was different about Peggy to him.
Well, there was a couple other ones that he didn't murder either.
Yeah, which we don't know why either. Then very recently, in March of 2025,
Oh.
so almost a year ago,
Yeah.
Davis was identified as the killer of Roseanne Sturtz. So Sturtz was the woman that Davis met in the bar at Howard County in 1975 who he lured into his car then murdered.
Mhm.
He was finally identified as her killer.
Okay.
He had been connected to this murder because in November of 2024, he had identified her from a photograph that the Howard County Police Department had shown him.
Oh.
Also in 2024, cold case detectives unearthed a 1981 audio recording of Davis during an interview with Howard County Police Department
Mhm.
detectives, where he provided details about her murder.
Oh.
But they found a letter from the state attorney at the time that granted Davis full immunity from prosecution in exchange for his cooperation. So he was never tried for this crime because he got immunity for it.
Because they
And
wanted confessions in other areas
I
or
guess
something?
so. And due to his immunity, Davis was unable to be prosecuted for this murder.
Mm.
When Davis had originally confessed to the murder, he said he did so because he wanted to give the family closure.
Oh, shut up. Don't act like you're
I know. I have in my notes literally eye roll.
like it's he obviously the power thing is so evident just with
Very.
calling
Yep.
and like being the one to then take them wherever it is that they need to go. Like,
Yep.
ugh, gross.
As of March 2025, he is still alive and serving his sentence, which
That's
is
wild.
3 life sentences plus 45 years.
He's still alive?
Yeah, as of 2025. At the Jessup Correctional Institution in Jessup.
He's got to be what?
He was born in
70s?
1947.
80s. Is it his 80s?
80s.
That's pretty long.
He'll be
being
80
jail.
next year.
That's pretty long for jail.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, did any of this sound familiar to you, Miss Criminal Minds?
The different MOs?
Just this guy. Any of
Say-
this story.
Bits and pieces of it, yeah.
So, I had to mention Criminal Minds.
Sure.
So, Davis himself was never portrayed on Criminal Minds, but he appears to have been inspiration for a few unsubs.
Yeah.
So,
Can I name one that I immediately thought of?
of course.
Okay. I cannot remember off the top of my head this season, but I know it's when Rossi is on. And he goes on his little book tour, and this one lady who's, like, really into, like, she's a criminal justice, and she's keeping track of, like, all these people, and he brings it to her and was like, there was this murder, this murder, this murder, and he was like, "Well, what," modus operandi, like, none of it's in common. Come to find out, it's this, like, budding psychopath who hasn't
Oh.
figured out what he likes yet,
Oh, interesting.
and so he had different MOs until he figured it out that he liked to strangle them.
Okay, so I got this from criminalminds.fandom.com.
Yeah?
Okay, so season 3, Doubt, with the unsub Nathan Tubbs. So this is what that fandom website said.
Mhm.
So both are serial killers of women who were divorced and lost custody of their children, trained to work in civil service careers but never
This
made
was the
it.
phone guy. Was this the phone guy?
I don't know. Abducted their victims before killing them, often by stabbing, and like to respond to the crime scenes to be involved.
Tubbs.
Okay, then we have season 5, Risky Business, Will Summers. Both are murderers with jobs in emergency response, had a broken marriage resulting in a son, killed their victims by strangulation, by proxy in Will's car, and Davis using other means. Were actively involved in discovery of the victims, were present at the crime scenes when police arrived, and craved attention from their crimes.
I can't. I need a picture. I can't. I like.
And then season 9, Mr. and Miss Anderson, so Alan Anderson. Both are serial killers and rapists who had jobs as truck drivers, also had jobs involving a rescue vehicle, so an ambulance in Davis's case and a tow truck in Anderson's. Had strained relationships with their wives, felt emasculated by women, which prompted them to target them, lured their victims by feigning to help them, and killing them by strangling or stabbing them, though Davis had shot some.
I would need to see pictures. If I could see pictures, I would know exactly what you're talking about.
We'll pull up the pictures after this.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there you have it. Charles William Davis in Maryland.
Well, damn.
Yeah,
And he's right there,
right there.
next door.
I mean, obviously we weren't alive during any of this stuff, but
We
like,
weren't even close.
no, our parents were just children.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Dang.
wild, scary, crazy. And it's again, like Maryland's right there.
Yeah.
How have we not heard of this guy?
There's a lot we haven't heard of.
I know.
There's quite a few.
There are quite a few. When I went on Murderpedia because I was like, I'm gonna do a crime, like a true crime. So many.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I chose him because of the scary ambulance thing where he would like call.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, I hate it.
Oof.
But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
there you go.
Did a good job.
Thank you. I hopefully ended on a good note.
A++ for
Thank you.
your last story for a little bit.
That's what I was hoping. I wanted a long one. I wanted a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you did well. This was a good one.
Thank you.
It has an ending, which we like.
We do. We love when there's an ending.
There's still some mystery to like you can try to solve as you go,
Yes.
which makes it interesting.
Mhm.
So you did a good job.
Thank you.
You'll be missed.
Thanks. What spooky frenzy you getting us into, Kenzie?
An almshouse.
Oh.
as we know. That's a hard word to say.
It is.
ALMS house. But it's one word. So I'm
Almshouse.
I'm trying to think like, okay, almshouse.
Yeah.
I like really want to say ale house, but that's not what
That's
it
not
is.
it. That's a very different thing.
So I probably say it a lot more than I probably should, but I might shorten it and just call it the house.
The A house.
The A house. There you go. Today, we are looking into a place that played a major role in social welfare during the 19th and early 20th centuries, the Baltimore County Almshouse. Before rumors of hauntings and ghost stories took hold, this was a working institution meant to house society's most vulnerable people. Its history is long, documented, and awfully deeply troubling.
It always is.
Right. After Baltimore City and County separated in 1851, the county took over one of the two original almshouses that had served Baltimore, Calverton, founded in 1819. The county sold the aging Calverton facility in the 1870s and built a new almshouse further north. Originally called the Upland Home, the third and final almshouse is known as simply the Almshouse, which is what we're talking about.
Yes.
The project of the building of the almshouse began in 1871 when county commissioners purchased, this is going to be funny, property in the village of Texas, Maryland.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
From Dr. John Galloway. The first residents would move in January of 1974. Nope. 1874.
For a second, I was like, oh my gosh, this happened around the same time as my crimes.
1874. It was built to serve as a public poorhouse, a system widely used across the United States at the time. Almshouses were designed to provide food, shelter, and basic care for those who could not support themselves. This included the poor, elderly, or elderly poor, people with physical or mental disabilities, orphan children, and those considered undesirable by society.
Always does.
Housing for inmates at the almshouse was rigidly segregated by race and gender. The county built the pest house, short for pestilence?
Pestilence. It's like sickness.
Yeah.
It's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, actually. Pestilence.
Yeah. The more you know. A small structure down the hill from the main home to quarantine residents with contagious diseases.
There we go.
However, far more often, the pest house served as a segregated housing for African American men.
That also is just such an awful name, the pest house.
Yeah. In the main building, white men and women lived in the front wing on separate floors, and African American women lived in the back wing. The almshouse superintendent reserved the first floor for himself and his family, along with any resident physicians or other privileged employees.
At least they are separating the men and the women.
And there's a doctor on site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not great, but like some
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Wait, blow my nose.
While the goal was assistance, the reality was often far harsher. Residents were required to work if they were physically able. Men typically labored on the farm, while women cooked, cleaned, or sewed. Children, even young ones, were also expected to help. Well, it says inmates.
I mean, in a way.
Yeah. I feel like when I was reading about this one, it definitely wasn't great.
Yeah.
Horrible conditions, but I feel like we've read worse.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll just, because they did eventually too also house the criminally insane
There we go.
with children,
Oh, good.
all in the same place.
Probably. Yeah.
The inmates incapable of providing as much physical labor as the farm hands were given duties within the house. The jobs of tailor, cook, seamstress, laundress, and even babysitter of the superintendent's children were all filled by inmates at one point or another. Education was limited or non-existent. Life in the almshouse was controlled, repetitive, and strictly regulated. Overcrowding quickly became a serious problem, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
People are cold.
Yeah.
Records show that far more people were housed there than the building was designed to hold.
As it always is.
Sanitation was poor and disease spread easily. Tuberculosis, pneumonia, and other illnesses were common causes of death.
Yep.
I read one newspaper article where they were like just reporting on somebody's brother's death. You know, back then they reported on everything.
Yeah.
And I think he died from the measles.
Oh.
Something like that.
Thank God we have a vaccine now that can prevent that.
Something, one that we don't hear too much of.
Well, measles are coming back.
Right.
We won't even get into that.
Human beings just really just get on my nerves sometimes. The almshouse also served as a place of confinement for people with mental illness. At the time, there were few protections or medical standards. Many residents were restrained, isolated, or punished rather than treated. There's this really sad picture on one of the things that I read where it's this woman who's sitting and she is clearly in a room of some kind.
Yeah.
And the caption underneath it was something about typical housing conditions for people like that.
Yeah.
Obviously I'll include it, but
Ugh.
Yeah. Physical abuse and neglect were reported and oversight was minimal. Superintendents John Hunter and Clinton Tracy had negative publicity stemming from their involvements in assault suits between themselves and the employees of the almshouse.
Nice.
Neither Hunter nor Tracy was found guilty of their charges, but the attention of the accusations led to Tracy being fired from his position, and it was taken over by Abram Enzor.
What a name.
It seemed for the most part, except for that guy, the superintendents weren't they were mentioned in newspapers as in this is the new one.
Right.
But other than that,
weren't talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
The vast majority of inmates are now only knowledgeable through the basic details recorded in the almshouse ledger books, held in the collections of the Historical Society of Baltimore County. The ledgers recorded residents' age, sex, race, and place of birth. Unsurprisingly, the impoverished almshouse population included many African Americans and immigrants over the years.
Yep.
A 1946 census of the 89 residents, for example.
The 1946 census?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
1946.
Okay.
It did last until.
Yeah, wow.
I think it was 1950s or something.
Wow.
Like that. I'll get to that. So that one, does make sense.
Yeah.
Because by the time it did get into the early 20th century, there was far less people because there was more facilities specifically for specific reasons.
Oh, okay.
So instead of having all of those people in one place, there were now specific facilities for that.
I see.
So there was far less people,
Yeah.
like more manageable and like things like that by this time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for example, noted 15 African Americans and 15 foreign-born whites, mainly Germany, Poland, Russia, and Ireland.
I see.
Most of the American-born residents in 1946 came from Maryland, but 18 were natives of other U.S. states. Some residents registered under partial or false names. A Daniel Boone entered on October 1st, 1891, and the facility admitted a Napoleon Bonaparte on June 12th, 1899.
That's actually really funny.
Reflecting the distress circumstances that sent them to the almshouse. Some unfortunates came to the almshouse only in death to be buried in unmarked graves in the potter's fields on the grounds.
That's sad.
While record keeping during the almshouse operation was sparse, we do have some knowledge about a handful of inmates. In 1943, the Towson Jefferson, which is the newspaper, profiled Fannie Williams, a 104 African-American woman and the oldest occupant of the almshouse.
Wow.
Williams had lived there for 41 years,
Jeez.
quote, earning her keep by helping the superintendent's wife with cleaning, and after she became wheelchair-bound, mending clothes for other residents. Before entering the almshouse, Williams had worked as a domestic servant in Baltimore County homes. Other residents occasionally landed in the newspaper under more unfortunate circumstances, like Anthony Rose. You're going to love this.
Okay.
An elderly white resident who fell down the almshouse elevator shaft.
Ah,
and
nice.
died in 1909.
Yep. Love the elevators.
The Baltimore Sun reported some of the residents that drew like attention. So you have those two. There's a snippet from November 27th, 1875 that shares a tale of a woman jumping out of a window and injuring herself on a pile of lumber.
Speaking of elevators, this reminded me, yesterday when Joe and I had our class,
Yeah.
it was like on the second floor.
Yeah.
So I had to take the elevator. Thank you, everyone. Hold your applause. I know.
I know.
So, thank you. My heart rate only got to 110. But so as we're like going down, Joe and I get on the elevator first, and there's no one else on, and then like a couple comes, so they get on. And then as the doors are closing, another couple comes on, so Joe does the door thing, so they get on. And then as the doors are closing, another couple, so he does the door thing, and they get on. There were like 6 couples that got on, and I was like, oh my God. And Joe's like, I'm so sorry. And so
Were you freaking out like the elevator was going to break or something?
I just hate it.
You
I
just wanted it to get done.
I just wanted the
And this
doors
was
to close, us to go,
prolonging-
and
yeah.
it was prolonging everything, and just there's more and more people, and Joe's just like, I like closed my eyes, put my head on his shoulder, and when we got off, he's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't like press the closed door button as I'm looking them in the eye.
Yeah, seriously though. Seriously. On April 2nd, 1891, the article shares the symptoms. That's what they called it sometimes.
Okay.
Like people maybe didn't have a specific diagnosis, but they had symptoms.
Okay.
Yeah. Of a 35-year-old inmate who is bedridden due to having, quote, the head of a man but the body of a boy. Don't know what that means. I don't think
Okay.
it was ever elaborated.
Interesting.
Patrick Cutter of the Baltimore County Historical Society said that people could be committed for a variety of reasons,
Naturally.
saying, quote, the inmates found their way there for a multitude of reasons. They included destitution, epilepsy, paralysis, measles, consumption, feeble-mindedness, insanity, dysentery? No. Yes. That sounds like a word.
Dysentery is a real word. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like being sick from, I think it's drinking bad water.
Okay. Neuralgia? I'm assuming that's
Something with the brain.
Yeah. Fistula.
What's that?
I don't know. Ulcers, remnant fever, burns, heart trouble, imbecility, which I think we need to start using that word more.
Go back to the fistula.
Fistula?
Yeah, how do you spell it?
Fistula.
Fistula.
Yeah.
It is an abnormal connection between two body. Oh my God.
Body?
My nose. Okay, it's an abnormal connection between two body parts, such as an organ, blood vessel, or the skin.
Okay.
Yeah. It requires surgery. There's a lot of injury.
Interesting.
Symptoms are like pain.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But I think we should bring back imbecility.
I like it.
The concept of being an imbecile.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Dropsy?
We're going to learn what all of these are.
Okay, you also have to look up neuralgia too.
Right. Dropsy.
Dropsy.
An outdated term for edema. Enema, which is just like swelling of body parts.
What?
Swelling?
Oh, well,
What did you think my nose said?
swallowing.
No, swelling.
Swelling.
I get it a lot now being pregnant.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
All right, and what's the other one?
Neuralgia. Neuralgia.
It is a sharp, shocking pain caused by irritated or damaged nerves. That sounds awful.
My mom has that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of a surgery, she had nerve damage, and now that's why she's got that pain in her foot.
Yeah, it's like sharp stabbing, burning, throbbing pains that follow the path of a nerve. Oh, that sounds awful. So yeah.
Dang. Old age,
Uh-huh.
crippled limbs, stomach troubles. I'd be screwed.
Yeah, you'd be there.
Deafness, muteness, and blindness.
Okay.
So
Everything.
literally, there was one of my first West Virginia episodes or something like that. I was reading all the things that they could have been admitted for in like the 1920s or whatever.
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, you might as well just put breathing on there.
Right.
Because what else are these people going to do?
Right. It's literally everything.
everything.
Had a nightmare. Had a stuffy nose.
Yes, exactly. Death was frequent at the Baltimore County Almshouse. Many residents arrived already ill, malnourished, or injured. Medical care was basic and in some cases non-existent. Those who died at the almshouse were often buried in unmarked graves on the property, and families were not always notified, and the records were incomplete. Families weren't really notified because families didn't really want.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, there was a lot of cases where it was like dropping off elderly people of like either can't take care of them or don't want
Didn't want to.
Yeah. Over time, however, public and private alternatives emerged for those who did not have families able or willing to house and care for them. So I thought this was quite a name. The founding of the State Lunacy Commission in the early 1890s marked growing concern over the treatment of the mentally ill and disabled. So good thing.
Okay.
Just not great name.
No.
But that's okay. It's coming from a good place.
It is, yes.
Eventually we learn, and I have no doubt that it's changed.
I would hope so.
It might not even be this anymore. It might be something completely different.
Probably. Some different association or council.
Right. Those considered insane, I use in air quotes, who in the early era might have lived in an almshouse were increasingly placed in, quote, asylums. As retirement communities and nursing homes became more common over the 12th century, the need for almshouses declined further.
Over the 12th century?
20th. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 20th.
Yeah.
It was written out, so instead of the number. In 1958, Baltimore County officials closed the historic facility, citing costs. So I couldn't find anything that was like specific people's experiences. So it's a really good thing we looked some of those up to like kind of pooch the time a little bit. Because I just found general overviews.
Okay.
So I'll just tell you what the people said.
All right.
Ghost hunters who have visited the historic building have reported stories of unusual activity. People visiting the area have reported unexplained footsteps, voices, and the sound of crying. There are many rumors that if you listen closely, you will be able to hear the sounds of children playing and throwing things around, as well as women chatting with each other on the third floor. Ghost hunters have reported feeling sudden and dramatic drops in temperature as if the warmth is being sucked out of the room.
Ew. Whispers
are frequently heard when individuals are alone in the building, low and unintelligible, but undeniably present.
Gross.
Footsteps echo from empty rooms, their pacing steady and deliberate, despite the absence of any visible source. Some claim to see dark figures drifting past doorways that lead to bricked-off hallways or sealed-off wings. The most haunting sight is that of a woman in white.
Of course, yes.
Often seen rocking silently in the corner of what was once served as a patient room. The picture looks like what that would be.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her face obscured, her presence deeply unsettling. Others speak of inexplicable knocking sounds, disembodied cries, and feelings of being watched.
All things that I would expect in like a creepy abandoned place.
It's not abandoned.
Oh, that's worse.
In conclusion,
what is it today?
Since its closure, the The Almshouse is housed the Historical Society of Baltimore County, founded in 1959, and a variety of county government offices and other nonprofits. In 1980, the Almshouse was added to the county landmarks list, and today the Historical Society maintains its collections and offices and runs a research center for the public and holds events in this historic structure.
Wow.
So I'm thinking maybe like they might have let like some ghost people in.
Yeah.
Or people that work there,
Probably. Yeah.
maybe, and things like that. But that is the Baltimore County Almshouse.
Where is it?
Baltimore County,
Thank you. Where?
Texas, Maryland.
Oh my God.
That's what it said. That's where they purchased the land. It was in Texas, Maryland.
But like, I want to know like where in Baltimore? Like, how far from the Inner Harbor are we?
It's not in the city.
Oh, it's like out of the city.
Yeah, this is when the city split. So
Yeah.
then you got Baltimore City, which was the city. This is Baltimore County.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure
So
this is
just out there.
outside. Yeah. And so there's like a little town called Texas, Maryland. Well, it's called Texas, but it's,
In Maryland,
Texas,
yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah.
And that's where it is.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, very interesting. Nicely done.
Yeah. It's
Very sad. Very sad history.
very sad history. There's some things missing. It was hard to find some stuff,
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah.
Maryland.
I didn't realize that that's what it was until obviously like I started looking into it. But I was like, oh,
Well, like what an almshouse was?
yes, essentially.
Yeah.
And just like the kind of different things that it did and whatnot. Like, because when I first read the description, it was like a children's orphanage. So I was like, oh, creepy.
Yeah.
But then it like listed all these other people that could be there. And so I looked more into it and I was like, oh, okay, we get a little bit of a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Some dark stuff going on in here, mistreatment, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And then some haunted stuff.
What we love.
So short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very nice.
Like we said in the past, this will be Lauren's last episode
Yeah.
for X amount of time.
Undetermined amount of time.
No, she is not leaving. She is not quitting.
I will be back.
She's on maternity leave.
Yeah. Essentially.
So I will still be posting episodes with special guests, aka my friends.
Brave friends who have agreed to say yes.
Yes, exactly. It'll just be one-sided. It'll just be me telling them a story and them reacting to it. I'm planning on right now just sticking to the states that we already have and then going from there. I did also want to give a disclaimer. So this goes out this coming up Wednesday. Next Wednesday is like quite literally the final countdown. Like that week is the final countdown.
I mean, we're already in the final countdown,
Yeah,
but
but that's,
that's
like, the
even
final,
more.
final
Yeah,
countdown.
like that's like the real final countdown.
So there's likely not going to be an episode that week or maybe the week after, kind of depending on the timing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to post it or post an episode because I'm now focused on my best friend having a baby
Thank you.
and doing that. So I can't give a
Really
specific...
moving into your like auntie duties.
Right. I don't want to give a specific week, but it's either going to be the last weekend in January or the first weekend in February.
God, let's hope it's not the second weekend of February.
Yeah. But it won't necessarily be both.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on what's going on.
Yeah, it depends when he decides to come.
Yeah. So it could even be like if he doesn't, if he comes Friday, then I'd probably still get the episode out there and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it all depends.
yeah, she'll be back eventually. She'll be back. I wouldn't let her quit.
No. I wouldn't want to either.
Because this is really her brainchild anyway, so if she quits, I'm out too. I'm not carrying this on without her.
Yeah, no, this has been my baby for 5 years.
Yeah. So wish her all the luck and good blessings. And soon we will have little baby probably on the podcast at some point.
Oh, just his little babbling.
A little babbling.
Yeah.
Because at some point, Lauren is just going to miss it too much and she's going to want me to do one with her. And that's fine. I'll do one with her.
Yeah.
Not necessarily her looking up anything, but just listening to a story.
Yeah.
While holding a cutie baby.
Oh, stop. That'll be so cute.
So hopefully by April.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
back
I'll
in
be.
the swing of things.
Yeah.
Maybe sooner.
Maybe I come in for my birthday.
Maybe you're just so bored. You're like, please, I have to start this again.
I mean, I'm going to miss you every week.
I know. We got to figure that out.
We do.
Because that's been our lives for the last 4.5 years.
I know.
So
I don't know what I'm going to do.
I I don't know either.
I was tossing and turning thinking about it last night.
Yeah. Well, especially when the baby's here, I'm just gonna be coming over.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
yeah.
So yeah.
I'll probably still gonna end up coming at least once a week.
Okay.
And especially if I'm still getting dinner and stuff with my dad.
Yeah, okay. I won't say no to that at all.
You don't have a choice.
You have a
I
key.
have a key, so whether or not you said yes, I'm coming
You're
anyway.
here anyways.
Well, like we always say, like it's on all the things. I don't want this to end because it's gonna be your last one, and that makes me a little sad.
I know.
Even though I know you're coming back.
I know.
But then all the pressure falls to me, and that I don't like.
No, you got this.
Ugh.
I have no doubts.
I do. It's just a lot of work.
It is.
So
It's not an easy thing.
I mean, it's a lot of work now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Well, Lauren,
Yeah.
stay scary and stay safe.
I'll try.
You better.